Well, I think it's very fortunate that this deal was reached when it was, because had it not been, the incentive to invest in renewable energy is obviously dissipated significantly. But we're seeing environmental movements in places like China and India now, again, a form of unrest. People are dissatisfied with their quality of living because they're living in such horrid conditions where they can't breathe the air in the city they live in. So the push now that we've got the big emerging markets on board, because that was always the resistance, was like, you had the small European countries and Japan, that's all nice and good. But you need these big emerging markets on board whose economies are going to be growing, and there's going to be huge numbers of increases in traffic on the roads and et cetera, things like that, that they need to be on board. And now that they're on board, I think there's going to be a huge push in that direction. And that's why I think there is this huge opportunity, despite the fact that oil prices are where they are. Because we have these countries on board, that convinces countries like the United States, for example, that yes, we can do something as well. So yeah, that was always the key, and I think we've talked about it in previous years. We had to get them on board, get the big emerging markets to some type of deal, to agree to some type of deal. But it wasn't so much our pressure; it was domestic pressure. There was a major movement in China last year, online primarily, just against the climate situation in their cities. So that really, that worries the government there. Now, we've seen in Delhi and India, for example, they've banned cars from the roads for a number of days because the air quality has deteriorated so badly. So yeah, it's popular pressure in those countries. And that's a good thing that we're getting it, because we need those countries on board to get the entire world on board to have a meaningful deal on climate, on dealing with emissions and in the climate.